Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome to your Inner City Wake Up Call. I'm your host, Dawud Alameen, coming to you out of the port city of Wilmington, North Carolina, 365 days a year. This is your Inner City Wake Up Call, your Sunday morning sermon. I didn't want to I had no thought of even foregoing this Sunday morning sermon. I want to first thank you all of the well wishers, the condolences that were sent to me over the last few days um, in view of my mother's passing. I'm good. As the song said, "It's well with my soul." My mother has faced Alzheimer's for the last 3 to 4 years, really an onset, full blown Alzheimer's probably for the last 2 years. And so I'm so happy to see her in a better place, not in the mind state that she was in. I know she's much better off than what she was going through mentally. It was a toll not to see her happy self for the last few years. So seeing her body, connecting with her soul has done wonders for me, and the future is very bright. Where she's at, I can't say. That would cause a religious debate, but I know I'm good, so I know she's good. So I thank my mom for being my mom. Um, my mom. I can just say that. I thank her for being my mom and being that person there for me. So I wanted to talk about the subject this morning because I wasn't. Mama always taught consistency. So yeah, you may have said, hey, you know, I can forego a couple weeks. No, I got to keep running. No Cover's got to keep running because she taught me to be consistent. When you set your task as something, you make sure you follow it through all the way through, and that's what we intend to do. So I want to talk about beyond belief. I want to go beyond belief. I can go there now, Mom. I can go there beyond belief. Um, there are over 42, they say 4,200 belief systems or religions in the world. 4,200 estimate that there are over that many belief systems. Now, we all know that traditionally we have five major. We call them Hindu, Buddhism, Islam, Christianity, and New Age. Hinduism, Buddhism, Islam, Christianity, and then they have New Age. That's the five major. Now, if you take the five major religions, Islam alone has 71 different sects of Islam. Christianity has over 3,000 denominations within that. Now, this is sub-level of the 4,200 religions. So, this thing of religion, really, me going through what I'm going through right now in the upheaval, because you all know my background as Jehovah's Witness, having to bury my mom and come in with a religious different faith myself, because I left the other night to have my own personal service with my mom, because I knew I wouldn't know where I was going to get away with that with another group. Religion is something else. So, can we ever get beyond belief? Can we ever get to the point where I accept your belief, really accept your belief, and you really accept my belief, and that we go to work on the conditions and the problems facing us, each other, with our different beliefs? Is that even possible? We talk about it, but do we work at it? We say it's possible, but do we actually achieve it? How do we get beyond our own personal belief? So I wanted to share this morning the scripture where Jesus said, you notice last week we talked about the Sadducees and the Pharisees. So if you notice when Jesus gave the two commandments, that he had, if the scripture says he had silenced the Sadducees, and one of the Pharisees rose up and asked the question, what is one of the greatest commandments? What is the greatest commandment of the law? Now, notice, go back last week. He had silenced the Sadducees. So the Pharisees, one who was an astute expert of the law, asked the question, what is the greatest commandment? In trying to trick him. Because he knew where Jesus was going if we understand where these prophets are trying to take us to. Trying to take us beyond our belief system. Because the answer to the question, he said, the greatest commandment was to love thy God with all thy soul and thy mind. And that's a bit much. Not much though, if we really think about it. Love God with everything you have. First commandment. Just love God with everything you have, your soul and your mind. And then he said the second of these is to love thy neighbor as thyself. Getting beyond our belief. Love thy neighbor as thyself. Does it say love thy neighbor based on what he believes? Does it say love thy neighbor based on what his political stance is? Does it say based thy neighbor based on where he worked? Love thy neighbor based on how much money he have? Love thy neighbor based on what kind of car? Love thy neighbor based on whether I really like him or not? It says love thy neighbor as myself. I know some days I hate myself. So if I'm loving my neighbor as I love myself, I got to show some serious love. Love thy neighbor as thyself. Then later on, since we're moving along this morning, we go to Luke and the question was asked, well, who then really is my neighbor? And then Jesus gives us this great parable that we talk about all the time. But I want to talk about it this morning. Do we really practice it? He gave us this parable of the Good Samaritan. And he said that there was a man traveling from Jerusalem to Jericho. And he came upon thieves. We know the story. And thieves robbed him. And he said first a priest passed by. And the priest passed him on the other side and let him go. Then he said a Levite. This was a Levite, was probably some kin to him. Passed him on the other side. Didn't want to have anything to do with him. But here comes a Samaritan. One of his enemies. One who has nothing to do with him. A Samaritan. Somebody he really wasn't supposed to get along with. This Samaritan picks him up. Takes him to the innkeeper. Takes care of his wounds. And then leaves 2 denarii and said, if this is not enough to care for him, I'll give you the rest when I come back on my return. And so then he flipped the question right back at, remember the Pharisee. He flipped the question right back at the Pharisee. Because remember, as we talked about last week, the Sadducees were those big ones that had the law, that wasn't going to change and didn't believe no way, had no inclination to believe in any kind of way that Jesus believed. But the Pharisees had a belief system. So he flipped it back on it to say, hey, you need to break away from these Sadducees and you really need to follow what I'm about to hit you with right now. You go do likewise. You asked me the question who your neighbor was. You go do likewise. You asked me the question, can we get beyond belief? You go do likewise. He gave us the parable of a man who didn't get along with another person of his faith. And he told his disciples, you go do likewise. So now before you, my brothers and sisters, get on me and say, Dawood, why you keep teaching from the Bible so much when you're a Muslim? Because both books are simultaneously with each other. In Islam, we're taught not to harm a blade of grass. You always say the chickens coming home to roost and we destroying and killing each other. We are taught not to harm a blade of grass, never to be aggressor. We only aggress if aggressed against. So now in this parable that Jesus just gave, what is he teaching? He's teaching the coexistence of faith. What was Muhammad teaching the whole while? He was teaching the coexistence of faith. When he went to Medina, what did he teach? The coexistence of faith. In Medina, he set up camp with the Jews, not against the Jews. He allowed them to participate and work in the same harmonious order. He was setting up coexistence of faith. They were really teaching us beyond belief. Every prophet comes and teaches us beyond belief, but it's us that's stuck in our way. I loved my mother. And I love my father. But they taught me better. My mother did in her own way. My father didn't. My mother in my own way was trying to get me, I believe, to do what I'm doing now, to understand beyond belief. She knew my father was stuck in his way. Because if any of you all dealt with Jehovah's Witnesses before, it's their way of the highway. They kind of like us Muslims, they way of the highway. And they kind of like us, some of us Christians are. They way of the highway. First Baptist, Second Baptist, Shiite, Sunni. Yeah. They way of the highway. Everybody got their way or it's the highway. So we talk belief. We talk beyond belief. We talk unity, but we caught in confusion because it's our way or the highway. I always remember my mother used to drop me off at the library and let me stay for 4 hours at a time. Not with my father's permission. Because my father really didn't like me in that library studying all that, what he called nonsense. But it was my place of refuge. And she used to drop me off all the time. And I can sit there now and understand that in her mind, even though he was staunch on what he believed, she was allowing me to go search for something else so that I would one day be in position that I would be able to see it from a global standpoint. I would be able to see life from a better point of view with another prism and not look at the other person to say is their way or the highway. Me and my best friend, Mr. Roberts, he's a Seventh-day Adventist. I'm a Muslim. But for 20-some years now, we have had religious discussion over religious discussion. And we understand clearly how to go beyond our own personal belief to see a bigger belief system than all of us. And that belief system is the God that both of us are really searching, because we really ain't found him yet. We're still trying to reach him and touch him and talk to him. That's the ultimate destination. Oh, some of y'all already talked to God. I'm sorry. But I haven't talked to him yet. So until I reach that destination, I'm going to go beyond my belief and continue to associate with those groups that you might not think I should associate with. I'm going to continue to reach out to those groups and organizations. I'm going to teach you to reach out to the next door neighbor of mine who might not have the belief system that I have, because he said, who is my neighbor? Who really is my neighbor? And what am I to do when I recognize that my neighbor might not believe the way I believe, but he's my neighbor, and we got to clean this same block up together. We got to take care of these same children in the neighborhood. We got to make sure we stop this same trash from infiltrating our environment. We got to make sure we make this place a better place for us to live. We've got to go beyond our belief to get there. Because if I stay stuck up on my highway, our roads will never intersect. And as long as our roads do not intersect, the real enemy keeps winning, because we have not stepped outside of our belief system and made it global. We've kept it personal, and we really don't understand. We really haven't grown in faith. He said if we had the faith of a mustard seed, we could say to the sycamore tree, be uprooted. Yeah, if we have faith, then can't nobody shadow what we believe. So we can sit in a room with anyone and solve the problems of this world. I thank God for having a person that come in my life to shine light to me, to help make me a better person every day. And that person doesn't necessarily have to have the same faith I have. We don't have to disagree all the way on the same belief system. But I'll read a scripture and he'll read a scripture. And he'll give me an explanation and I'll give him an explanation. And they come out almost picture perfect. And they're different explanations, because it's coming from his system and mine is coming from my system. But the ultimate source of all systems is the God that all of us say we're trying to strive to reach. So I want to challenge us today to start going beyond our belief that we can ultimately reach the ultimate destination, and that's the God that we serve. Thank you for listening this morning. I'm your brother. I'm your host. I hope you enjoyed this morning. And thanks again for all of the condolences that you've given me over the last few days. My mother's burial, her memorial will be this Saturday in Newport News, Virginia. I will send information on that real soon. We will always keep running. Peace and blessings.